Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, my name is Ryan Turpin, and welcome to Prison Without Walls, where we're gonna be speaking about a lot of life's injustices and prison crime that all goes along with it. Now, the video before this one, as you can see, I'm kind of upset. I actually watched this a little while ago. I noticed I was cussing a grip. Sorry about my lighting. I'm gonna work on all this stuff. I'm gonna get better. But today I'm gonna talk to you about. We're just gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna tell you about a story when, at this point, I was in jail. I had already pled out to 5 years probation on a certain charge, but I had to do 10 more months in jail on my probation because I had 18 months probation for selling to a Suboxone to an undercover. So I had to finish that. So that's why I did a year and a half in county, because I had to finish that, and then I got out with fresh probation, and then I got sent back. That's how I went to prison, was because of the probation violations. But anyways, I'm gonna tell you about a time when I was in jail about 15 months. I only had 3 or 4 months left, and I was getting a furlough. I wanted to get some fillings in my teeth, and at NBC in Albuquerque, New Mexico, they don't have any the dental. They'd only pull my teeth, so my teeth didn't need to be pulled, and I only need fillings. So I asked the judge, and he said okay. When they said okay, I just called the lawyer, and the lawyer got it approved immediately. So when they said okay, the mistake I made was I was in a high felony pod. So we got pintos and gangsters all over. Everybody is mostly all on drugs and stuff. So I spoke on it to a few people, and it spread like wildfire. Everybody's coming up to me asking me, are you getting a furlough? Hey, I heard you're getting a furlough. And everybody's like, what's up, bro? Are you gonna bring some shit back? Are you gonna bring some shit back? And everybody's really trying to pressure me to flood the pot out to the max. These people are thinking they want me to bring an ounce of meth, an ounce of heroin, 100 Suboxones, strips. Bro, I'm not putting all that. I'm not bringing all that. You're freaking tripping. I'll bring back 30 strips with some tobacco and maybe a little bit other thing, but we ain't getting no ounce of meth in this bitch. You guys are insane. Because I've seen pods on meth. That's a whole nother story too. I've been in a pod where somebody came in with a half ounce of meth, and the whole pod was awake for a week, and everybody had shanks. Nobody was eating their trays. You would see in the morning people getting 3 trays per person that was sober, and nobody else would eat. And it was that was such an insane week too. That's another story. But anyway, so this one, people are jamming me up, want to bring this, want me to bring that. So I'm in E6 at this time in MDC when I hear the news that I'm gonna get the furlough. So I don't know what happened, but they wanted to transfer me back to a school pod, even though I had already graduated high school. And so this is E3. It's in the same fucking place, but it's 3 pods away. In jail, there's really no movement. So everybody was all upset. When they called me to move, people were telling me, oh, let me back up. I started talking to a few people here and there in the pod. I knew, I was pretty much cool with everybody. There was plenty of dope in the pod at that time. Everybody was getting high. I was getting high as hell. I was buying like pieces, boxing every day. Um, but people are super getting like real stoked. They can't believe I'm about to get a furlough, and it was a 4-hour furlough, is what it was to the. I won't say to what. I mean, I don't know if anything could come about this, but stay kind of vague on certain details. Slide right by that. But I made a few plans with some people, and this guy, I made some plans with him. I met him when I first came into jail, and 15 months before that. He was still in jail, and I had still been in jail at that time too. Usually, you don't meet too many people that are doing like long period of time in jail, like fighting a case or something, but there still are like a lot of us that were just in there, and we're getting transferred from pod to pod, for fucking all over. So eventually we run back into each other. And when I first met him, he's real cool with me. He's like, you remind me of my son. And so because of that, he would just like start hook me up with dope and like sell me dope and shit. Like that's how he got cool with me. It was just because of that principle, not because he heard I was about it or anything. Like I wasn't like this crazy violent ass criminal, but I wouldn't let nobody fucking push me around either. Um, I'm gonna try to keep this channel as cuss free as I can, because man, like I feel a certain type of way about myself, in life, and I know I deserve better, and I gotta achieve that. So I just kind of, you know, I could be real passionate about at times, especially about injustice, just things that aren't right. And so if I'm talking about my own life, shit ain't right. But anyways, yeah. So this guy's cool with me. So we set it up, and he's cool with me because I knew him and shit. But I was gonna bring in like I didn't want to, but he had 100 strips supposedly, and then I told him I'd bring in like a quarter of meth and like probably a quarter of heroin, and I was really paranoid about saying this, about agreeing to this, because I knew if I backed out while in the furlough and came back with nothing, and there was packages there, that we're gonna have some issues. Say there was packages there, and I didn't get them, or I didn't just bring them. I got scared, something. Like that it was my fault, and it's not a part on their end. Shit, it would have been all kinds of chaos. So I got some guy, and like I agree to that, like this one dude, and like some other people are talking, but when you're trying to get that shit done, you realize all these fools are in gangs, and they say they're connected, and they say that they've been selling dope forever. You kind of realize real quick that this shit ain't got nobody anywhere ever, because all these people, they can't do anything. They can't get anything done still being inside prison. Like, they ain't as connected as they say they are. So I was only able to get like I had like 20 people, no, probably 10 people talking real big talk about this, that, and that dwindled real quickly within about a week, and that dwindled to like 2 possibles, and then I get the news that I'm moving to the school pod again, E3, right down the block, a couple dorms down, and they're telling me, bro, just refuse. I remember like the guy that I was supposed to bring like the real big package from. He's like, just refuse. And then he's like, then you'll go to SEG and you'll come right back here. And I'm like, what? He's like, go tell the cop you refuse. And I'm like, bro. So I went and asked the cop just to entertain this dude. And I asked the cop, what's gonna happen if I refuse? And he's like, you'll go to SEG, your points will go up, and then you'll go to because I was already in E6, it was already a high, like, um, point, or I mean, it's a low point, sorry, in NBC, like, if you have 1 point and shit, you're, like, locked down. So I was, like, already right beneath lockdown, 23 hours a day, like, high risk, red jumpsuit, because I had, hit a cop like one time when I was blacked out on Xanax. I had overdosed, so I was blacked out and I got thrown in jail. That's how they caught me when I went to prison. And I punched a cop. That's a whole nother story too. I got fucking grips of them. But anyways, like I was saying, he said my points would go up and that I'd go back down. I'd go back to lockdown after SEG. So after them disciplining me for not moving, then I would go to lockdown. So I told him, bro, I ain't coming back, dog. I said, it's over. And they're like all mad at me, dogging me, like it's my fault. I'm like, dude, if I refuse, I'm going back to high risk. I'm going back to Seg 4. That's what it was called, Seg 4. Like, they're just gonna have me locked down all day, dude. I have to fucking stay clean or else I go back to lockdown because my history here, punching the cop and shit. Um, yeah, they got all mad. So then I get transferred to E3. And when I get to E3, I already know a grip of people because I've been in that school pod before too. A year before that, and when I get in, I know a few people and shit. And so then when I get to E3, I was more quiet about it, but it still spread. I was still like stupid. I didn't know talking about like me getting a furlough could cause such chaos in the in the pod. Like, I knew everybody were drug addicts in the pod. Like 90% of us are in jail because of some drug fucking addiction. Like, we're in there for robbery, but we were robbing a house to fuel the drug addiction and shit, So it's all like 90% of us are surrounded. Like, that's what our fucking whole thing is surrounded by. So it still spread. I started talking to a lot more people. I supposed to have, there was like 6 people maybe, that were saying they're really about it, that they could get it done, but it was no packages that were that huge. Now, I moved in with a dude who was just a small white kid like me. He wasn't a gang member, he didn't have any tattoos, but he was there for first-degree murder. He was facing life and all this, so he was my cellmate. He was real cool. And he was telling me like he might be able to do this and that, and with him too, that kid, it turned out that his mom worked for the DMV, and she had these weird envelopes, and they look like state letters. So, but his mom had access to them. So if she mailed him a letter in those envelopes, the cops don't open it. It's legal mail. When I found that out, man, it was on and cracking. I got Suboxones and they're like crazy. When he told me that, that's a whole nother story too. About another time we got it popping like crazy. We got the number one goal in jail is just to get drugs in. That's it. In New Mexico. That's it. That's like the goal. And it's a really worthy goal to me too. Like, I fucking just, that made time fly by so much, just staying fucked up, playing handball, and I hope I didn't stop that video. Hold on, sorry. Oh shit. Dang it. Man, I'm sorry I messed this all up. Hopefully that's still good. Anyways, pull over here a little more. So he said he might be able to get something done. Just a real meek kid, pretty quiet, stays to himself, but he's real legit. And turned out he was a real huge Molly dealer, and actually started getting like amazing prices from him. I started buying a ton. That's a whole nother story too. But anyways, so he said, yeah, he could do some shit. He liked ecstasy. He would sell it when he was on the streets before he went down for murder. So he was talking about how he wanted to bring ecstasy in. He said he could bring ecstasy, spice, weed, strips like Suboxone, tobacco. That's it. So weed, spice, tobacco. Yeah, I already named it. You heard me. So I was like, all right, that's cool. And we're just bringing a little bit of each. And he's like, we're gonna crush it real fine. So like the weed, it gets crushed down to pure dust, dust, the finest dust. Same with the spice and the strips. They're packed a certain way. You know, you stack them a certain way, and then the the pills actually came whole. We ended up bringing in what was it? It was I think some red Maseratis. I think that's what it was. I don't remember. But that shit was crazy too. Rolling on ecstasy in jail. Shit. But anyways, yeah. So I fucking and all these other people are like, yeah, I could get 10 strips and like just little amounts. Like, I really wanted strips too. And like my homie, this fool that was in there with me, my cellie, he couldn't really get strips. I think we only had like 5 of them at the time, and I kept saying, dog, push it, try. You know, these days are coming up, and I am gonna get this furlough. It's already done deal. Like, it's gonna happen. So just get something. And I got all these other people, and I'm pushing it. Like, bro, you calling? And so I have certain shit set up when I get on the streets. It's like fucking heaven when I hit the streets. I haven't been on the streets for like 15 months. And it's just weird. I'm around my family, and I feel real bad about that too. Like, my family, we went out to eat and stuff. I remember we went and ate at this little like fast food Mexican restaurant, Garcia's, and I just felt weird because I was like telling my mom, "Let me use your phone." I like my cellie, he wants me to give this paperwork to his people because you know he's facing a murder charge and all that, and she just was like, okay, like, and I feel bad about lying, you know, about that shit. And I knew I was bringing drugs back. But so we get to the dentist. When we get there, my Cellie's package, boom, it's there. It's already there. It's inside of a Pop Tarts box behind the trash can of the dentistry. And I go grab it. And I look at it, and it's just two separate like um, balls like that. Like they're like a little fatter than my thumb. I put them, I keister them, put them up in the safe, and I go back. And while I'm going back, they had this X-ray machine at MDC, and they put you through that X-ray machine when you're getting booked in. So when I turn myself in, that's basically what I'm doing. I gotta get rebooked, and I just tell them, hey, I was in the school plot because I leave all of my like property in jail still. Whatever property I wanted to take out, I could take out and shit. And like give to my family because I've been holding on to property forever. I've been there for 15 months. So I get back and I'm just fucking tripping on that machine. And the time comes and I walk up and my heart's pounding because I know I have 3 months left. After this 3 months, I got 5 years more probation because I just signed for robbing the drug dealer. If I get caught with this shit's first degree trafficking. 18 years. Plus, I'm already a fucking 3-time felon. They're gonna break me off bad. And so I walked in the machine and nothing. And it was just, man, I can remember that silence. Just like, fuck yeah. It's about to go down. So I get into the pod and people are looking at, oh yeah, so when I was out there on the streets too, I had another deal with 2 other dudes besides my cellie. And none of them came through. These fools are, oh, I'm about this, I'm about that. They're in this gang, they're that gang. And they didn't do shit. And I come back, And I said, fool, your people didn't even answer. I jammed your bitch up for back to back to back for an hour straight. You know, I only got 4 hours on the streets. And he just walks off all pissed. And I'm just like, fool, what am I supposed to do? And he's just angry. And people are walking up to me like, bro, did you get anything? Did you get anything? And I'm like, just fucking chill, dog. Because everybody's walking to me. When they see me in the Sally Port, everybody, one by one, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up? I'm like, just fucking chill, dude. Let the COs see this shit, dog. So I get up inside, tell them I got a little bit of spice, a little weed, but I only have 6 strips. Everybody's all hurt. And I'm just like, because they all want some boxing. And I was like, bro, it ain't my fault. Your fucking people didn't answer. Your fucking people let me hit me. That ain't my fault. And, you know, just push them off. And people are trying to butter me up, too. They know, like, I still got something, you know. So, and the pod's been dry for months. No dope, no nothing, no cigarettes. They're fucking smoking lettuce. Dried out lettuce from the food trays. Just because they're so bored. So I get in my cell. I wait till lockdown at 8 p.m. And I get it out of me. And it's wrapped like 4, 5, 6 layers. So when you take it out, it doesn't smell like it's been up somebody's ass. And when we open it, oh yeah, and I remember I told my homie, bro, no ecstasy. Like, cause I told you guys he wanted some ecstasy. I said, don't bring that shit, dog. Just bring some straight in there. He's like, all right, I told him to take it out. Well, I didn't open the package when I got to the dentist, so I just put it up, and there's fucking ecstasy in there. There was like 9, I think it was red Maseratis. And I'm like, man, fool. And he's like, psh, I didn't know. But he was laughing and he was happy. And I was like, I already knew. He never told him. Like, he wanted that shit. He loved ecstasy. But I was still cool because like, it came in. And that's another story too, rolling on ecstasy. Like, that's a whole other thing. But when this happened, like, I had to give out issues to people in the pod. Certain, like, homies and OGs. Like, people... I'm kind of giving dope out too for like backup in a way too. Like, these people won't rat on me, or like nobody's gonna like hate if I'm showing love to as many people as I can. So I chop up a whole strip of Suboxone. A whole strip of Suboxone has the potential to get 32 people high. You can cut it into 32 pieces and get 32 people trash. So but I was passing out massive issues. I cut up a whole strip and I gave it out. I cut out like, I didn't cut it into 32, so people were getting a lot larger. I cut it in like 16 and gave it out to key people. You know what I mean? Because I was running in the crowd in jail. There's always this crowd that kind of runs shit that's cool. Like you got the people that clean the pod, like the BOs, the trustees and shit. And like they've been in the pods for a minute, so you gotta be cool with all them, because you gotta give the dope to a trustee while he's cleaning the pod after lockdown to go to another cell to give their issue. So I'm telling this trustee, hey, go give this to fucking cell 1, go give this shit to cell 6, hey, go give this to them. Say it's for both of them. I'm giving everybody an issue of Suboxone. I'm giving everybody an issue of spice. We're keeping a weed. That's it. And then afterward, we wake up in the next morning, everybody jamming them. Everybody's showing love. Everybody's jamming us up. What's good? Because it's half mine, half my cellies. He's the one that got it in. I mean, he's the one that got the dope. I got it in. I get 50%. He gets 50%. Usually, if you get somebody to get dope in for you, they take, if it's your dope. So if I want dope in, but I have somebody else bring it, they only take 30% and I get 70. But it's my celly, and I consider him a homie, 50-50. And we did business after jail too, because they ended up getting out on that murder. So yeah, people jamming us up like crazy. It's so obvious. They're bringing fucking bags of canteen. And then you got people hating on us. People are flying kites almost immediately saying I brought dope in. We're getting hit with search. We'd smoke weed in our cell, but we'd only pull out a half joint and we'd put everything back up in the safe. Because we were already knew we were hot, so we just kept it on us in the safe at all times. And we'd smoke a half joint and we'd blow it in the van. And I remember one time the alarm went off, and we got searched, but we had everything up. And they were all hurt, and they're like, "We know you got it," and all this. And we'd flush the roach like when we're done, so we'd only roll enough just for a quick session, because a session of weed or spice in there is 2-3 hits per person, just and as fast as you can too. And you gotta disassemble the batteries that you did it with, all that shit. So yeah, like people just hating, they're searching us, but now I this collective, this following. I got all these people on my side. I haven't been to prison yet, so I'm not considered to run with Albuquerque, run with Budke, because that's who I roll with in prison. So it's not like, and I'm not a gang member in jail, just a white boy, a little skinny white boy with flower tattoos too. So it's like people would respect me, but only to a certain extent, it seemed. So I wouldn't let nobody test me. I had people trying to fucking pump fear into me and shit. Like, what's good, dog? What's up? What, you gonna break me off? And I'm like, nah, fuck that. Dude, I'll sell you something. Well, honestly, we ain't got nothing. It's all personal, dog. But see, they're trying to buy us. So after like 2 weeks, we started running low. And I had a second furlough too. After this one. And it's just been the same in the second furlough. I guess there's gonna be another story, because fucking the second furlough was actually different, and it was even more crazy. But yeah, we just had so many fucking haters and shit, and like, but see, we would say I don't got nothing when it got personal. I'm not selling, but every day, these people that are trying to buy would see us smoking. Me and my little clique, we're running the whole pod. Everybody got my back because I'm the dope man. And nobody really tried to press me about that shit. I mean, it didn't really have nothing to do with the school pod, because we still had gangsters everywhere. And a lot of people got transferred to that school pod, didn't even want to be in school. I already had graduated. I didn't want to go. I didn't go to school. I would just chill and smoke, chill all day, eat, get high as much as I possibly could. Only had 3 months left. And so, yeah. And so now, I guess I'll just chill right there, leave it at that, and I'll talk about when I hit the second furlough. This again, this is gonna be Prison Without Walls, and my name's Ryan, and I'll see you on the next one.